Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I have the best video today. Striking out, trying something new, and doing a first impressions and first look video with the awesome new, which I just got in the mail, Kat Von D Saints and Sinners palette. So this is a amazing holiday palette. I was incredibly excited to well, I was a little tentative to order it at first because it's a little expensive for me to spend. I think it was 83 Canadian on eyeshadow. But I love Kat Von D's products, especially because they're all vegan and cruelty-free, paraben-free, all that great stuff. And I've heard nothing but great things about her eyeshadow. So I thought, let's dive in, both feet, buy her brand new palette, and I'm going to open it up, take a look at it, and do a first look for you guys. So come on, let's get, let's get a little bit saintly, or let's get a little bit sinnerly. So scooching a little bit closer, and let's take a look at this absolutely beautiful palette. So it came in my Sephora box, which is here, and opened. I did get a few other things, but no lies, I didn't have the patience for an unboxing video, so I just kind of tore into it, including the lipstick I'm wearing today. But the palette has not been taken out of its box. So this is the beautiful box it comes in. It's all embossed and like, you can't feel it, but it's raised. And it's gorgeous, and on the back it has all of the colors and their names. Now this is an artwork palette. I think that it was inspired by stained glass windows in cathedrals for her, at least in the video that she did. She did a gorgeous swatching video and just information about this palette, which I'm going to link below, because I'm not going to swatch these today because there are 24 shadows in this palette. So that's a lot, and there's a lot of great swatching videos out there. But what I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea about is how these actually blend, how they look when they're on, because swatching is one thing, of course, but working with them is another, because there's a lot of duochromes, there's some mattes, there's just a bunch of everything in here. So, which means it would be a great palette if you're looking to start your eyeshadow collection and you want to, get into something that's got a big variety. So here it is. Oh my God, you guys, it's so beautiful. So this is, again, all raised and embossed, and it looks like a cathedral door. This here is the magnet, and it's embossed as well. And again, the shades are all printed on the back. Now, I do believe the shades are also on the inside. So you can see here is the Saint and Sinner. So each side is, of course, a different side. Now, when I was at first thinking about this palette, I was a little worried because I felt like it was a bit of a jumble, because there's a lot of colors, there's 24 colors. But I think if you look at them in each sort of individual color profile, they really make sense. So, of course, we'll start here. We're going to open it up so you can see that this is the magnet. This little thing here is the magnet that keeps the palette closed. It's a huge palette, by the way, guys. Like, it's the size of my entire head, which is amazing. All right, so you're gonna open it up. So this is the Sinner side. So some, very flashy mirror, some beautiful colors. Some of them I wasn't entirely sure, like this green color here, which is Exodus. I don't know when I'm going to use that color. There's a few in here that I'm like, but you know what? One or two does not make a palette not worth it for me. So you've got your Sinner side, and on the top is a topper. It's called Rapture. So it's meant to go on top of like a matte shade to add shimmer, or you can build it up on its own. And then on the other side, we have the Saint. So you can see these colors, a lot more muted, more neutral in their tone, but still really pigmented and really beautiful. Also has a topper on the top. So side by side, you can see like really where sort of the color profile is for these two sort of Saint and Sinners. And then when you open it up, you can see here like a lot of colors, a lot of stuff going on. You've got the mirrors on either side. So, and you can also flip them back like so. So, you know, a little bit easier to work with the palette when you do that. So these shades are just phenomenal. They're really beautiful and the packaging is gorgeous. The only thing I will say I was a little disappointed about, oh, it's got some shadow fallout happening on the inside of the palette. Now I haven't used it, which means that when it was produced, there was a little bit of palette fallout. Now, the one thing I will say is I've heard tale of, and I can sort of see it in my palette as well, that there's a few of the pans that weren't really lined up. So I don't know if you can see that. I mean, the whole pan is still visible. You're going to be able to get all the product out, but you can see the pan is like not really center. And as someone who, and there's a few of them that are like that, but as someone who's like a complete perfectionist, that will, no lies, drive me absolutely crazy. You know, and I expect more for an $83 palette. So when I see, you know, pans and stuff like that, it makes me a little worried. Like the whole overall craftsmanship of this is beautiful, but I have, you know, heard some people say that their shadows blend really well and some people's shadows aren't blending really well. There can be batch issues, especially if this is a first time production. But let's break on into this. You can see I've done my whole face, but I haven't done my eyes. All I did was prime my eyes with Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden and some Sephora mattifying powder, because you must always set a cream with powder to get ready to blend this onto my eyes. So let's, you know, take a look. Let's, you know, see how these are actually working. I know when they're swatched, they're beautiful. Like, I'm barely touching this, guys. I'm barely touching it. And like, look at that. That's crazy. Like that is, it's so vibrant. I mean, I'll put it on the back of my hand here. You can see, like, that's barely touching it. Like, I know in all the swatching videos, these have been swatching incredible, especially the duochromes. So this is Vestment. This is another one of those duochromes. And you can see that, like, you know, you've got basically from one angle a green shine to a brown shine. Like, it's just a beautiful duochrome. So these are really intense shadows and the colors are pretty off the wall. So let's break into them. Let's take a look. First impressions, obviously this packaging is beautiful. These shades are beautiful, you know, and true to Kat Von D, they're colorful, they're eccentric. You can do some really cool looks. So I'm going to grab my favorite eye brushes and we're gonna take a look and see how these are actually gonna blend and go on my eye. So let's create some looks with the Kat Von D Saint Center palette. So I've scooched you guys in even a little bit closer. I hope you enjoy this close up. Ugh, nothing ever looks not blended like foundation in direct light and a micro focus camera. However, I really want you guys to get a really good look at how these shadows actually blend, which means you're actually going to have to be able to see them. So I've started by grabbing my Sephora small shadow brush. So just a sort of everyday sort of fluffy blending brush for adding product. Now, I like them when they're tapered. I know a lot of times in tutorials you'll see a brush that looks more like this one here, sort of a fluffy crease brush. Now, I like using this brush for blending out, but when it actually comes to applying product, I prefer sort of the more tapered end because I have hooded eyes, so I have to be very careful where I put this product. Alrighty, so oh my God, you guys, there's so many beautiful shades. I don't know what to choose. We're having some focusing issues. So sorry if I blink in and out a little bit, you guys. I'm gonna try to not move a lot so that it doesn't do that. They're so beautiful. All right, well, we'll start with the transition shade. There's not a lot of mattes in here. That's the only sort of downfalls. Without a lot of mattes, it's kind of hard to decide. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go a little crazy and we're gonna do a really bold sort of red warm toned eye. So what I'm gonna actually do is start with the shade Martyr. So this shade here is a transition shade. And I'm gonna use that just to, so blend, it picks up really well. I'll bring you into focus here. So not a lot of fallout. It's picking up on the brush really well. Of course, tap your brush. You want as little product as possible. So as you're building this up and you're blending it up, it's gonna look good. So we're gonna pick, we're gonna go with this eye here to start. So I've got my handy compact here with me. So I can actually do this. So I'm going to start, so with hooded eyes, you'll often see in tutorials that they talk about going into the crease. Now I don't want to get into a huge thing because this isn't really a tutorial, this is just how these eyeshadows work. But for me, I have to apply sort of above in my transition shade and work more up into my brow bone. So I'm just going to toss that on, focusing the color in the corner and pulling over. Oh, so I used very, very little on my brush, and you guys can see how like intense that the pigmentation of that is, and it's blending out really well, really nice and fluffy, just gorgeous. Now this is just a transition shade, so I've just sort of put this all over. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. Maybe I'll do a halo, I don't know. And then I'm just going to go in with my crease brush and just buff out the edges here, because I don't want any harsh lines even as I go through this process. Wow, okay, so you can see, guys, that buffs out beautifully. That's just gorgeous. And that one people were calling like a bit of a diarrhea brown, which I can sort of see, but it looks beautiful on the lid. Like, it's just a really nice transition shade. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and pick up, as everything's falling all over my little makeup table, pick up something to darken this a little bit. Also gonna stick with mattes because I don't want too much shimmer in my crease. You know what? I'm gonna go with Devil. I'm gonna go with this beautiful orange color that's right next to Martyr. And I'm just going to pick this up. So this is just me playing around with the matte shades, and then I'm going to try playing around with some of these duochromes, and I'll toss a topper on. So we'll really sort of get a look at how these shades actually blend. All right, so let's go in with, what was this called again? Devil. Oh, focus. Let's go in with Devil. I know I'm moving around, and I told you guys I wouldn't, and now it's being all, oh, camera. There we go. Stay. Okay. So just putting a little bit of this sort of orange in the same place, but just a little bit tighter to the crease. What I'm basically doing is creating like a faux crease, which is what you have to do when you have hooded eyes. So wow, you guys, this is so pretty. Okay. So again, really gorgeous, gives you a really beautiful transition. Yeah, just wow, these are blending really well. I'm happy because I know that some people are having blending issues with this color or with, you know, the matte shades. They're not too chalky or powdery, they're great. So I'm just gonna pick up some more Devil, because I want to intensify that orange a little bit in the corner. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit on the corner, and when I have almost none left, I bring it up because I don't want too much heavy color on that inner corner. Wow, you guys, I'm using so little on my brush and I'm getting like incredible pigmentation. Kat Von D does it again. And like I said, like all these colors are created like without carmine, without any sort of animal products. So like, it's just great. Makes me very happy. I'm trying to be a more responsible consumer, and that includes in makeup too. Okay, wow, that's so pretty. So now we've got the sort of really light transition color happening, and now I'm gonna go heavy on the lid. So I think I'm gonna do actually a little bit of a halo, and I'm going to use, oh my God, they're so pretty. I don't even know what I wanna do anymore with any of these. This color Stigmata is really calling out to me. So this is the really pretty sort of red color. So what I'm actually going to do is build it up a little bit with a different brush. So I'm gonna set all this crazy stuff down. Stupid camera will not stay in focus today. Goodness, goodness. All right. So what I'm actually gonna do, and so this is a good test to see how these really sort of shiny metallics actually work on a brush, because normally you have to pat them right on your lid, but I'm gonna just use a angled shadow brush, which you guys can, there we go. Just an angled shadow brush. So same thing, it's like a blending brush, but it's got a bit of an angle to it, and it's great for working in the corners of your eyes, because I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a halo. So I need something a lot tougher. Okay, so poking into this. Okay, so I barely poked into it and I got quite a bit of product on my brush. So for a metallic, that's decent, but let's see how this actually goes on, shall we? Oh, wow. Oh, you guys, that's so, Jesus, that's crazy. It's almost like intensely pigmented. And now I should have used less. Normally these metallic shadows, you really need to pick them up, but this one I did not. And now you can see it's gone a little crazy on my lid. So, you know what? We're just going to pop a little bit in that inner corner, and now I'm going to have to blend this. Wow, that's crazy. These shadows never look like this, these metallics. They do not have this sort of concentrated. Usually you have to pick them up on your lid, so I could only imagine what this is going to look like when it's not picked up on the lid. All right, so I'm going to go back in with Devil on my tapered brush because now I need to blend this mofo out a little bit because it just decided to go crazy. Wow, you guys. I am in love with this palette. It's going to be so beautiful when you want to do different looks. This is especially great for a holiday palette, I think, because it's just creating some really pretty, you know, stunning and bright looks, which is nice for the winter. You know, in the summer you usually stay with peachier shadows and that sort of thing. Just blending, 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 blending. All right. So it's hard to see in this light because it's just sort of exploded. So that's what we've learned about this palette today, that it is super, super pigmented, and that, wow, like I picked up so little and it, you know, I wanted it to just be in the corner and it's kind of gone over my whole lid. So we're going to change a little bit what we were going to do. And yeah, it's just created this like sunset on my eye. It's actually really pretty. So I'm going to pick some of this Relic up, which is this gold. And I'm just going to pat this on the inside of my shade, or my lid, but not bringing it up too high. Wow. Look at the color on that, you guys. It's gorgeous. So I think it's suffice to say both the metallics and the duochromes blend incredibly well. You know, I don't have a lot of lid space, so I often have to be careful with haloed eyes because it can look a little weird. I can't bring it up and close it like most people can. And what I would do with this, you can tell I haven't done the rest of my makeup. What I would do with this is clean up this corner a little bit where it sort of exploded. But I have to say, you guys, this is just like gorgeous. Like, can you see how just, yeah, you guys can totally see it's so pigmented, and I took so little of that product. So it's a little rough to blend out, I will admit, the metallic, but you know, honestly, that's usually true for most metallics anyway. And it sort of went a little bit more into the corner than I would have wanted. So what I am going to do is brighten up that inner corner. I'm going to take some of this Absolution, which is the topper, and just pop that. Whoa, it's so sparkly. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but holy Hannah, that's like, can you, wow, that's crazy. Oh, you guys, I'm in love. This is just stunning. These shadows are blending amazing. They're incredibly pigmented. I feel a little weird because I only have one eye done, but that was just a super quick like look, right? That was just doing, you know, a couple of shadows to create sort of like a everyday halo. Like, it's not super, it looks a little dark or bright in the light here, but it's actually, or in the camera, but it looks really more subtle in my compact. So I have to say, you know, I don't want this video to be like 10 hours. So I'm going to scooch back out and we're going to talk a little bit about how this performed. I feel a little lopsided with only one eye done, but I'm going to go play around actually with a few more shades because I want to create my October look of the month for you guys. And I have to do that soon because it's already almost well, it is the second week of October. And so I have to do that soon. So I just want to say that this packaging is beautiful. These shadows are beautiful. My one criticism, like I said, is that the pans are a little off center for some of mine, which is irritating, but you know what, you can live with it considering, you know, it's a good pan size. They're not, the mattes aren't too shadowy or powdery or chalky. There's not a lot of fallout, and the metallics go on like crazy. You need so little compared to what you normally would with a metallic. The fact that all of this is made without any animal product at all is incredible to me. And true enough, I think it completely and totally followed her reputation for greatness with makeup. And I honestly just, yeah, I'm totally blown away. I think if you have the funds, this is a limited edition. This is only for holiday. Honestly, if you have the funds, go get this, guys. Like, there are endless looks you can create with it, from daytime to, you know, nighttime. Yeah, it's just a beautiful palette. It's totally worth the money, and I'm completely blown away by it. I cannot wait to start incorporating it into tutorials, because I've got a few ideas for cut crease and halos with hooded eyes, and I want to do a proper tutorial, and I think that this is a beautiful, beautiful palette for that. So if you are looking to get some Sinner on, some Saint on, and you want to treat yourself this holiday makeup season, pick up the Kat Von D palette. You will not be regretful. It has my official seal of approval. Thank you for watching today. If you liked this video, please hit like below. If you have any more questions about this palette, or you want to know a little bit more, you want particular tutorials on particular shades, totally let me know. And if you want to see more like this, hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel, everybody. And follow me on Instagram, same title as Tilapia. So thank you so much for watching today. I will be back soon. Mwah!